I still don't see it. Nope. Keep refreshing. Nope. You do it?
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
Well, I don't see it. I'm on Stormcrow, Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. Oh, wow. It's way under... No, that's not it. That's August 2nd. That's last month I'm looking at.
That's weird.
I'll refresh it again. Here you go. No.
I mean, I'm seeing us on Twitch.
I don't know, bro. I'm on Stormcrow, Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. And I don't see it. All I see is the old video from August 2nd.
That is weird. What did Facebook do something to it?
It's been messing with pages for a while. I mean, you go to it and see if you can see it. I don't see it.
That's where I'm at right now.
And do you see it?
Mm-mm. Let me get to the Stormcrow profile.
Yeah, but that shouldn't have anything to do with it, man. Because normal people should be able to see it on the video.
Oh, right. I mean, I get that. What's going on here? Is it publishing, though?
I don't know, brother. I don't see any video.
That is totally weird. Let me go to YouTube real quick. I mean, it's here right now.
Yeah, but it's not on Facebook, brother.
I get it. I think Facebook's having issues. Let me share.
Share. What are you sharing?
I'm gonna share this.
So should I go over to your page?
I don't know why this is so messed up now. Like, we should honestly be able to share this.
Yeah, why am I not seeing the video?
Mm-hmm. Like, when I click on view on Facebook, and it says Stormcrow Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. No link. It's like it's not
Yeah, but
even...
I mean, it normally even notifies me saying Stormcrow went live.
Yeah, I know. But I don't see it. It takes me to my profile. That's about it.
Well, we have to find a solution. I'm not hearing solutions, man.
I don't think we have any solutions now. Whew.
Is it live on YouTube?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube. It's live on Twitch.
Well, then share it over.
Okay.
Share over one of those over to your profile, and I'll grab it.
Okay.
I'm still not seeing anything on your page, man. Mark.
I sent it to you as a direct message, but I can add it to now. I add it to my Facebook now. There you go. It's shared.
Will it act as a live show though if I'm sharing it like this?
Mm-hmm. Should. Because we're live on YouTube right now too.
All right, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, so all that's gonna do is put a link on my page that'll take people to YouTube.
Yeah, and if you see, Phoenix Gray and AR Holloway's links are on the description as well.
This is just gonna be weird because.
Oh, I know.
All right, so that people need to go over to YouTube. All right, hold
I
on
guess
though, man. I'm
Facebook
gonna have to
did away with it.
literally say this. All right. So who do you want to bring in first?
Let's go ahead and bring in Phoenix Gray.
All right, you guys. First of all, you're watching Stormcrow Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. My name is JD Glasscock. That's Mark Potter. Our little mascot is lying over there looking forlorn. Lola, my dog. We're going to bring in our first guest because, of course, Facebook is having issues because it always does. And for 3 years, we just link our show over to there and it goes live there. But Facebook's been playing with pages lately.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, our link will not go live on Facebook. So we'll figure it out. But it is live on YouTube and live on Twitch. And then we'll figure it out from there. But anyway, let's bring in the first author. One of the first people I met, like a month and a half ago, as I entered into the LitRPG author scene. She was one of the first people to welcome me, gave me a bunch of amazing advice. Dawn as well, and has just been a wondrous spirit and wonderful energy. Is a brilliant writer herself, has a shit ton of books out that you should read, and just an amazing spirit. Let's bring in Phoenix.
Hey guys.
Phoenix.
Hello.
Sorry again. I guess Facebook's been messing with pages, so it wouldn't take a live video. So we are live on Twitch and YouTube. So what I did is I posted the YouTube link on my page. And then what it'll do is if people hit it, it'll take them over to the live show on YouTube.
I totally get it. I used to record things on Facebook, maybe like once or twice a year. It's always a nightmare. Always. Something always goes wrong. They always change
Well,
something.
we've been doing it for 3 years and never had this issue, but I know from a personal standpoint of having various pages, in the last few weeks, I've been getting all these messages saying Facebook has redone pages and all that stuff. So I didn't know that would affect whatever they redid has affected our ability to throw a live video over there. So that's fine.
It's been almost
we'll figure it out. It's live on Twitch and it's live on YouTube. And I posted on my page. You can just copy and share that or whatever. And then that link will throw anyone that clicks it over to the live show on YouTube.
Okay,
anyway, glad to have you. I prefaced you with saying you were a beautiful spirit. One of the first people I met as I voyaged into this industry, and from day one, you've helped me a lot and given nothing but beautiful energy and a very talented author to boot. Let's bring in Aaron Holloway, though. So our next guest, Aaron has also got a shit ton of books under him, and very, very cool guy, and a maestro of wordplay. Let's bring in Aaron Holloway. Hey, Aaron.
Thank you for that intro.
Hey, so yeah, you're watching the
wordplay,
YouTube. You figured out that we had to go to YouTube. Facebook, again. I should have known that because the last few weeks, because I have several pages from film and all that stuff, and the last several weeks, I've been getting constant notifications saying we're redoing pages. Facebook's redoing, like, changing how pages work, but I didn't parlay that into all of a sudden we can't throw a live video over there. So, because obviously we only do this once a month. So last month it was fine. This month it's not fine, but that's fine. So I put you're obviously, you can see YouTube. So just put that link to wherever you want to put it, and it'll bring people to the live show here. It's also live on Twitch right now. You know what we found, Phoenix? Because remember when you were asking about Twitch and all that stuff, the link?
Mhm.
We found out that Twitch doesn't keep videos.
Oh yeah.
This entire time, we thought all of our shows, neither one of us really, we're not. I mean, I'm a gamer, but I don't do live Twitch gaming.
Yeah.
And so we never went over there because when the show is playing, it would be there, and then it would be there for, like, I guess, an hour afterwards, and then it goes bye-bye. And then you're like, wow, we didn't even know that. I went and looked when you were asking me to go look for the link, and there was like 0 videos.
Yeah, I think if you want something to stay on Twitch, you actually have to upload it to Twitch. You can't live stream it. But I also haven't been on Twitch in a while, so things could have changed since then.
Yeah, I've never been into, like, wearing a tube top and having someone watch me play Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? So
that's where the money's at, didn't you know?
Yeah, really.
Come on, I can make millions. Anyway, people would, like, be paying. Hey, I'll pay you money to turn off the video. Anyway, it's amazing to have both of you guys. The journey into LitRPG has been blessed with some amazing spirits that I've met, and I'm the same way I was with film. I just like supporting artists, and my theory is I want to see everyone succeed. You know, so it's beautiful having you here. I'm gonna jump right into it though. We'll start with Aaron. What is a project you've done in the last couple of years that you thought turned out pretty good and you were happy with it, and then elaborate on that experience and those feelings?
Yeah, so actually I have a recent release through Athon, my publisher. They picked me up for a trilogy called...
and that's got some various authors on it, right? Yeah,
Athon is a small press publisher, but they have a really good reputation right now.
Very cool.
A lot of indie authors have kind of gone with them for various reasons, and you know, I'm with them for one trilogy, and then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But I've had a really good experience so far. It's called, what did I name the dang thing? Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I named my series.
That's how many books he has, people. You can't even remember all of them.
It's like Doom's Call. No, that's not it.
Oh, your orc one.
Age of Doom. That's what it is. Went through, like,
is that the orc one?
Changes for the name on it. I'm sorry.
Is that the orc?
Yeah, that's the recent one.
Yeah, I love me some good orc, man.
Yeah, the second one comes out, I think, in a month or so. And then I'm currently working on the third one, about halfway done with the third book right now.
There's a lot of people at home right now turning to their partners and saying, have you ever been orked?
Wow.
All right.
And then their intrigue into wanting to see what being orked is all about will lead them to your books.
Lots of people are going to be using Google now.
Yeah. No, very cool. So give me the thematic of the book, the MC, little
the entire
on the
trilogy
MC.
is kind of a love letter to Warcraft, particularly Warcraft 3.
Yeah, and I saw that in the art.
Yeah, it very much has that vibe. So I kind of tried to go more of a kind of a rock and roll feel to the characters.
Kings of the Wild.
Kind of more spikes on the armor, more yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Kings of the Wild was an alluded to a fantasy book that was a fantasy setting, but yeah, that
honestly,
was
one
about
of
a
the
rock
books
band.
I read.
But
It was
yeah,
one of the Kings of the Wild was one of the last books I read before I became an author, and it was before I decided to actually start on that journey, and it's amazing. It's one of
it
my
is. I didn't think book 2 was as good, but book 1 was like kick ass.
Oh yeah.
But okay, so tell me about the MC though. Like, what is
So the main
what
character,
everyone in LitRPG wants to know? What is his class?
he is a gull or a war chief
Gotcha.
kind of character. He's meant to do kind of everything in Orc society, but also kind of a jack of all trades type of character, where his class allows him to do magic, allows him to fight, but he's not as good as any of those things.
Like most jack of all trades, he's like decent at a lot of things, but not as good as a focused.
Exactly. Actually, his family are the characters that are kind of that hyper focus of each class. So his brother Threlden is the shaman for the village. His uncle is the strong orc, who is the fighter, and then his sister is the fast orc, or the one that's meant to like do healing, and she's kind of the wise one, so to speak. And so each
stuff from what was that series that I was reading? Weidman's series, where like the orcs love like playing in a band and like rock out really hard, and
that would be pretty cool, but no, not in this series, sadly.
Yeah, in his series, he has them like when they want to find someone, instead of tracking them, they're like, okay, we'll do it. And then next thing you know, they put up big speakers and start playing like a giant heavy metal song that like is blasting the entire area, because the orcs' idea is to bring them to them as opposed to actually going out and looking.
What was that? Isn't that a Larry? Like that's in a Larry Correa book, isn't it? They have something similar happen.
Is it Age of Mankind? Is it? It's a Wildman.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't read everything, unfortunately.
No, it would be hard. This genre is is literally the fastest growing genre in literature, and I think 3 out of the last 6 months, all of the top pre-ordered books were all LitRPG on Amazon.
Various kinds, yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, okay. So, this is what is that called? So this is neither a portal nor a VR.
Yeah, this is
already in a world.
So I tend to call it real LitRPG. So it's like a fantasy.
They were brought up that way.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world where this is just normal.
Yeah,
this is like magic is quantified kind of deal.
Very cool. And does it have stats? Does it have?
Yeah, it's a pretty crunchy RPG. But I try to make it. I write pretty much exclusively crunchy LitRPG, and I try and make it also not get in the way of the plot. So.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I love Grand Diddley Ghost Town, but he started giving me a headache with how many times he's looking at his stat sheet, man. I'm like,
oh yeah,
especially with how many skills the guy has. I'm like, dude, like every chapter you're like bringing out the stat sheet. But I hear you.
And there's
I'm going to dance over to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There are some readers that love that crunch.
No, and I actually like Grand Diddley Ghost Town. Don't get me wrong, but and I think it's more specific to that book because that guy is literally all about not taking a class and having like endless skills, and so like literally it's like 6 pages long of
master. Yeah.
For him to look at his character sheet once, it covers like 6 pages. I mean, it's literally
he pulls out a binder.
Yeah, literally, it's like it's gigantic. Like if that author, I would be a headache. Can you imagine that author's Bible? It's like literally like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to dance over to Phoenix real quick, and then we'll come back in a minute, Aaron. So same question to you, Phoenix. Something in the last couple of years you've done that you're excited about, you're amped about, you thought turned out kick booty.
Well, I'm not going to say it turned out kick booty, but the last book that I wrote that I was actually really proud of was the last one I published called Tiny Souls, and it bombed so hard. Oh man, this book just like scraped bottom when it released. And I think it's because of the way I blurbed it. I think I made it sound like it was going to be super religious, and it was not. Religion was a very small part of it, but I think that didn't resonate very well with.
Yeah, I don't think ever saying, especially in lit RPG or any of this genre, saying something's going to be super religious is probably not a good marketing tactic.
Yeah, I think I put in the blurb it was like religion, like religious themes or something in the blurb. I think that's part of what killed it before it could take
Plus,
off.
you can never also, it's so arbitrary sometimes what takes off, what doesn't take off, what hits, what doesn't hit. Like, I mean, and that's the same in whether you're talking music, whether you're talking film, whether you're talking books. There has been bands that I didn't think were that great that blew up. And then other bands I think are brilliant that can't ever get out of the gate. So I mean, it's
when I used to write romance, I used to say if I loved what I wrote, the fans would hate it, and it was without fail. If I actually liked what I wrote, it wouldn't do well at all. But if I hated the book I wrote, because back then I was writing for money, I actually don't really like romance at all. And if I hated what I was writing, like I was cringing as I was writing my way through it, fans would love it.
Because you were just writing gratuitous sex with no actual meaning behind it.
Well, no, because I was just writing to market. I was writing what people wanted to read, and I wasn't writing.
I would have trouble doing that, man. And I have trouble dealing. I mean, each to their own, and whatever their end goal is in finding success and all of those things. But like, I've met some filmmakers who literally Jurassic will come out, and then they'll make 5 rip-off Jurassic B films that literally even have Jurassic in the title. And you're like, really, dude, really?
It's coattailing on what's popular, and unfortunately it is a good way to make money. But
it is,
it's soul crushing to be quite honest. I was very happy when LitRPG, but I learned about LitRPG because I actually love fantasy. And I had tried, the first book I ever tried to get really published was a fantasy novel. And this was before Kindle even existed, and it didn't get picked up. I sent it to 20 publishers, nobody picked it up. And it became The Girl Between and made 6 figures. So that I was happy about.
When you finally indie published it.
Yeah, when I finally indie published it, it did really well.
That's, I mean, come on, bro. Those little greedy little publisher hands could have had their hands swimming in the dough.
Yeah, their loss. But
although, if the publishers had put their hands in it, you would have probably gotten 4 figures. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And then they would have changed a bunch of stuff too, because that's what happens when you actually hand a book off to a bigger publisher.
No, and it's the same thing in film. When Kevin Smith said he quit directing for 6-7 years because he was always doing indie shit that he was able to get pretty good budgets for, Mallrats and Dogma and all that stuff. And then he finally sold out and did Cop Out with Bruce Willis in a big studio film. And he said he was the director and wrote it and had no control on the set. He was told directly once they were shooting by the studio execs to do whatever Bruce Willis told him to do.
Wow.
And how'd it do?
It flopped, and Bruce Willis, to this day, Kevin Smith still does stand-up comedy of trashing Bruce Willis. But, such is existence.
I kind of swore that Bruce Willis was actually one of Kevin Smith's heroes, and then when he met him, he was just such a dick.
Well, he met him. That was how he met him. He met him on that set of Cop Out. It was him and Tracy Morgan from Saturday Night Live. Those are the 2 actors. They were cop movie, and it was the first time that Kevin Smith did a studio film backed by a huge studio, and he ended up having to do whatever Bruce Willis told him to do, which included changing the script, changing scenes, changing literally everything. He said the entire film was nothing like what he actually wrote and envisioned.
Yeah, I remember I've had one book published with a big publisher, and I remember after handing it to editing and then getting it back, I was like, this is not the same book I wrote. I did not write this.
Yeah, it's not. But, okay, so back to Tiny, because I know that's the image I've been using, because I remember when we were talking, you resonated with when you were talking to me about it. So hence that was the book cover I grabbed of yours, which I've been using to promo. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about the MC.
So I have a female MC for that book, and I don't usually go that route, but I don't know. I just felt like it was something I should try to do, so I did it. And
Hey, anything can work, man. And like I said, you're the captain, so go do what you envision.
Yeah. So basically, it's about this girl, and she's about 18 years old. Her family dies in a tragic accident. She ends up homeless and pretty much living under a bridge because her family had a lot of debt. And she wakes up one day, and there's this troll-like creature under the bridge with her that claims to be an angel, and tells her that that God has sent him to because she's got a pure soul, and God thinks she deserves pretty much a second chance, and if she will help him solve the problems in these 7 worlds, he will bring back her family. So basically, she goes to these 7 worlds. Each one is different. Each one has different armor and weapons, and she basically has to solve the problems of these worlds. Each one, of course, has a different problem, and it's I can't say a whole lot without like spoiling the book.
She's a human, though, yes.
Yeah, she's human. Okay. So it kind of switches.
I would be a little fishy if an angel looked like a troll.
Well, yeah. The thing with him is his story is that God is punishing him because he disobeyed God. So so it kind of makes it harder for people to trust him because he doesn't look like an angel. So he kind of has to like gain her trust and go about that way.
Is there any comedics going on here, or is it more of a straight kind of heavy? Or
there's some comedic elements in it because pretty much every time she gets transported into a world, she's wearing some really like scantily clad armor, and she's like what's this?
It's you, Phoenix, of course. You
but yeah, and he's the angel. He's like super lazy, and he doesn't really like help a whole lot. He kind of just like lounges around and watches her do all the work and stuff. So there's
he's like Frank in the Ripple system.
Ryuk from Death Note.
Yeah, he's kind of like Ryuk from Death Note. But yeah, so it jumps between, these different worlds and her real life and what's going on with her being homeless, and she's trying to get into a program where she can get shelter, and I thought that I had written it really well. Despite the fact it didn't get read a whole lot, I'm pretty proud of it. I think I did a good job with it. But yeah, that's probably the last thing.
And you think it was because you blurbed it out like as a religious thing?
Yeah, I mean, you can kill a book by blurbing it wrong. That's just the truth of things. It definitely wasn't the cover. The cover was absolutely gorgeous. The cover author, the cover illustrator did an amazing job. So I borked this one. This is on me, and I can accept that. But
okay, so should I take out on my own blurbs the very descriptive paragraph about me dancing in a sumo thong in a mall with a disco ball?
That might actually sell. People like comedy.
Depends on your target audience, I suppose.
It's my marketing genius.
I wonder what that covered art would look like.
Sad thing, I can picture it. I can picture it like all.
No, you got to picture a little disco ball above on one of those little plastic things swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Have a little drone follow you around.
That'd be even better if it was on a drone. Just follows you everywhere, like literally everywhere you go.
The drone is the disco ball.
Yeah, and then from behind, because I'm wearing the sumo thong, so it'll be a great image. Yeah. White pasty ass. But anyway,
I'm gonna say I love Tiny Souls. Not normally my thing. People watching, go get it. It's great. It's not.
Yeah, I would maybe
that
just.
Genre is not normally my thing personally, but I loved it.
I would just say maybe repackage it.
Yeah, I might reblurb it in the future and do a relaunch on it because I really think that's all that it needs to get off the ground.
Yeah, I think I would just do that. I mean, if you're feeling passionate about it and you think the hiccup was you misstepping in the way you presented it, I would just if it's been a minute since it came out, I would just repackage it and to rethrow it.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
It's probably going to have to be a few more minutes. Another issue is that it's a one-off book, so marketing it isn't really very profitable. So repackaging.
Well, I have noticed that.
Yeah,
I have noticed
repackaging
that in
it.
this genre specifically, they want to
trilogies,
see
probably.
more than one book.
Yeah, it's money is in. You want 3 books or longer, and I think the sweet spot nowadays is between 3 to 5. Unless you've got a super popular series, if you go beyond that, you tend to have people drop off because some people don't like reading a super long series. That
I
has
saw
been my
somebody
experience.
complaining today in one of the lit groups, but what they were complaining about was more that, and I have read a lot of the series the gent was referencing, and I won't say the name of the series, but that as it went along, it started having more and more and more filler to artificially make the book bigger. And I have seen that, and I think that has to do with KU and some authors making their books a little bit longer than they need to be so that there's more page reads and that they're making more money. And so it was really hard to argue with what the guy was saying because I've seen the examples of authors doing that. But it was no different than when Robert Jordan did it way back when. Wheel of Time was originally supposed to be a trilogy. It took off, started killing it. The next thing you know, it's going to be a 5-book series. Then next thing you know, it's a 7-book series. Then next thing you know, it's like 14-book series. And I love Jordan, but I would say after about book or 3 or 4, it just started being like a lot of filler getting shoved in there, man. To like make those.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense though because the truth of the matter is, and I might get reamed by some readers out there, but most readers are series loyal. They're less author loyal, more series loyal. So if you have a series that's doing good, it's usually a smarter business move to just keep writing than to start something new. Because you never know if the new thing is going to take off. But if you've got something good, it makes sense to just keep going with it.
Author loyalty typically takes 2 successful series that the person has read. Anything, yeah.
You mean it takes for most authors to establish themselves, it takes 2 series under
In
their
order to get
belt.
that small core of fans that'll follow them anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when Patreon is more of an applicable thing, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, the guys on Patreon, the guys and girls on Patreon are just pumping out content. They're pumping out like 5,000 to 10,000 words a day. And
I don't know. I just got my first Patreon person today, and it was weird, to be honest with you.
I mean, I could see, like $5,000 to $10,000. I mean, 5 to 10,000 words a day.
Especially because it was Mark.
That's a
so
lot.
Literally, I was like, Mark, you don't need to follow me on Patreon, man.
What?
Yeah, Patreon I feel like is a whole other beast. But yeah, people on Patreon, they like new content. I had one for over a year. I couldn't make it work. For the life of me, I couldn't make it work.
That was the first one I've had, and I don't know how to work Patreon, so I had it set up for tier 1 to be able to access the post. And they paid the money but couldn't access any of the posts. So then I had to go post by post by post by post by post and put it to just patron, which Patreon, for how much money Patreon makes, they seem really outdated. Like they have not upgraded their like AI layout, the way it works. And
it kind of went the way of Facebook in that they upgraded themselves and do a downgrade recently.
Yeah, because I was like, for you to change tiers or where posts can be seen, you literally have to go into each post to do that.
And there used to be
there's a
reason I went to Substack and I don't do Patreon anymore. Because there used to be a thing.
Yeah, it's just I just think they're just making money instead of wanting to keep their thing upgraded.
Platform, yeah.
Making it easier access, easier user friendly. There you go. This is the word I'm using. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to dance back in a second with Phoenix. But Aaron, what is something you are currently working on that you are amped about?
There are 2 things I'm working on right now. There's actually 3 projects.
How are you guys doing that? My brain would be fried if I was trying to juggle multiple books at one time.
If I had done all of the words in a single book, I'd almost be done with book 3. Which kind of makes me feel a little guilty. But if I didn't jump around between series, I would get bored, and it would become work instead of fun.
So it's ADD. Is that what it is? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Less that, more me needing to stay emotionally fresh with the content, I guess. If it becomes a slog, it'll take me forever.
See, I would just hammer out like 3 or 4 in a series, and then if I needed that, I would stop that series for a hot second, write a book on another series, and then come back. My brain personally, I would struggle trying to juggle more than one book at once, I think. But each to their own, man. There's 1,000 roads to Damascus. Whatever works for you is what you should do. Wait, Aaron, did we lose you?
I think you might have.
Aaron, you froze, buddy.
I think you lost internet. Well, what I want to know is that how do you pump that amount of material out?
Okay, next time, bro, if you're going to start with the word pump, you need to get the rest out quicker, man.
Okay, if you're going to pump out that much material,
really like way too many symbologies going on there when you do a Captain Kirk pregnant pause on pump.
Well, you know,
okay. Anyway.
Yeah. How much? So, how do you pump out that much material, and
I work all the time.
not encounter writer's block?
Oh, I definitely encounter writer's block. Yeah. So sometimes I sprint. Sprinting helps a lot. There's a website called For the Words that's kind of gamifies writing. I use that to kind of get through writer's block because when you sprint, you pretty much just time yourself and then you just write. And it doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, but you get something out. So you're kind of just writing on instinct, and then you can kind of go back and fix stuff. But then at least you're getting something out. But yeah, I work all the time. So I'm a pretty big workaholic. After this, I will be working until I go to sleep. So happy fun times. But yeah, generally I also outline, and that helps. So before I start writing, I usually know what I'm going to write. But yeah, I'm also multitasking right now. I'm writing a series, and I'm working on a on a tabletop RPG. So
okay.
Although those are vastly different aspects of the brain pan, I think, and working on the game and then having to churn out novel. They're both creative and artistic, but they're different flips. At least in my brain, they would be different. Like I have a video game coming out in a couple months on Steam, and I can occasionally go work on that, and it's not the same thing in my brain as me working on my novel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with the working on the game, there's a lot of different stuff that I can do. So currently I do all of the maps and make all of the battle maps for it, and I do all of the formatting for the books. And so that gives me a little bit of a break between writing the actual campaigns to do other creative stuff. So that helps with me not getting too burnt out on the writing. But yeah, whereas if
it works for you, it works for you. I mean, everyone has different routes of how they do things. You know what I mean? And there's never. Anytime I ever hear anyone say this is the only way to do something, I usually tune them out immediately because that's completely. Aaron just messaged me saying his power went out.
Oh.
No.
And it's getting back on.
Oh, okay.
That's a very freak occurrence.
Yeah.
Our
right.
talk show caused the power in his entire block to go out. Mark.
Nice.
Phoenix's amazing, charismatic, magnetic energy shifted through the camera and blew out his circuit breaker.
He must live on a ley line.
I would not do that to Aaron. Aaron's my buddy.
It was involuntary. It's just sheer magnetic spirit rolling through the ethers. I think he's joining us, so keep an eye out. Re-click link in email is what I'm sending him. And then I didn't realize I was trying to type to him to tell him that, and I didn't realize someone had messaged me on Facebook, some model actress girl. And so I wrote in her box, And I
You
don't
wrote
mean
in
it.
her box.
I don't mean for
Wow.
it to sound like that. And then I doodled in her box, thinking I was talking to Aaron, saying, "Hey, you froze and cut out. Re-click the link." And then all of a sudden, I'm getting a message back going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh God, not you! I don't want to talk to you right now. Go."
She's like, if you want that, it's gonna cost,
Hey, don't
25
talk to me
We
about
we
free
can we can stream later.
Don't talk about clicking things, man. What are you talking about?
That's a different stream.
Just like, that's my OnlyFans. You have to pay.
Wow.
No, I'm shocked at how many actresses that I know are all of a sudden all doing that. And then they invite me. I'm like, dude, I'm like a filmmaker, and you want to be possibly in my film someday, and you're trying to tell me to go to your OnlyFans and pay you money to see you naked? Like, seriously, like, I would not, just a suggestion, do not go to any more directors, filmmakers, and invite them to your OnlyFans. That's not going to
That's a
end well.
quick
That's
way
not
to
a
get
good,
blacklisted.
huh?
That's a
It's
quick
just
way.
not a good, it's like any business. Let me go to all my prospective bosses, and now it might work. You might get a job, but I don't know if it'll be in the dynamic that you want it to be. If that's your intro to them.
Here's my demo reel.
I'm just like, maybe put a little more. I know you might need money, because obviously if you're doing that, you probably need money, but maybe put a little more forethought into your marketing strategy. But anyway, he said he's back.
Lies. I don't see him anywhere.
No,
I'm gonna say Mark said he doesn't
I can
see
kick
you.
him out. I can kick his thing out of the show and then have him come back in.
Yeah, don't you have to do that for him to be able to click the link and come back in? No. I don't know. Let me see if he responds. I messaged him, and I did message him because I deleted her chat box out of my way.
Make sure you
It
get
won't
the
let
right
me. It won't
person.
even let me kick him out.
I don't. We'll wait until he responds. I messaged him.
His will is so strong, he's clinging to
There
it.
you go. Wait, no.
What is it? Was it a tease link?
No, I heard something.
That's the mouse in your placement.
No, I heard some has came on the stream.
Anyway, it's right. In the meantime, we're going to dance over to Phoenix while we're doing this. Phoenix, what is a current project that you're on about, that you're excited about?
So I am currently dedicating 95% of my time to a project called Loot Dungeon Adventures, which is a tabletop RPG for couples. And I had a Kickstarter for it, and it did incredibly well. Over 7,000 people contributed to bring the project to life, and it made $250,000. So it was a really, really big
Well, it didn't
success.
make that. It got $250,000 investment.
Yeah, yeah. So it's gotten quite a bit more than that on the back end too so far, which is pretty cool. But it's basically right now it's everybody gets 4 campaigns, 3 of which are already written. One that I'm like about maybe like almost a third of the way through writing.
And this is a board game?
It's a tabletop RPG like Dungeons and Dragons, and it's kind of very loosely based on Dungeons and Dragons because I wanted it to be friendly for people who were new to tabletop RPGs. And
Wait, hold that thought, because Aaron is messaging me. Mark, it says you are not part of the broadcast. Yes, the host can see you and can add you to broadcast anytime. That is at the top of his screen.
They won't let me kick him either. Let me.
Well, it's saying that you can see him and he has to be invited in.
Okay. Let me give you a link to send him.
Yeah,
actually,
give me a new link.
Actually, use the same link. It's the same link that I sent you.
Well, wouldn't that have been the same link he just used?
No.
All right, hold on. Sorry, Phoenix. Hold on.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. I got someone.
I think it's Aaron, bro, because I don't know anyone else that would be like trying to get in on the show. It could be that girl that misconstrued what I was saying to her, but
I still don't see him. Like I see he's there, but he's not there. Like there's no video.
maybe he never totally quit the show when
He
he
needs to.
froze. He basically it just cut off,
Mm-hmm.
but he's still like there. So, and you can't end the link.
Nope. I can't even kick him. I've
I'm
tried.
gonna tell him to try shutting the whole thing down.
Yeah, tell him to kill it, kill the process.
Wow, I don't know. In 50-some episodes, 3 years, dude, I don't know if I've ever had anyone in the middle of the show lose power to their house. That's
I had that happen to me. I did that happen to me at work today.
no, I'm talking about during a live talk show, man.
Oh, I know. I'm talking live to somebody.
I'm not talking about your personal phone call, brother.
No, I'm talking about work.
What did you just send me, man?
That's just the link.
You already sent me that.
I know. I'm just in case I have to send it again.
Oh, you sent me a YouTube link, bro, before. You didn't send me the
Oh, did I send you the YouTube link? Oh my god. Why did I? No, it should be Melon app. There you go. Melon app. Melonapp.com.
I don't know. This is why you're the tech guy, bro. Tech doesn't work with me, man. I'm like literally I use a computer to write and play games. I don't do nothing else. I don't know how to do electronic
But it won't let me kick him.
Excel, any of that shit.
Every time he comes back in, it says AR Holloway has joined the stream, and yet I can't see his video. He may need to turn his video on.
What do you mean? Well, he's not in here, dude. If it was just his camera, he would still be in here. Just his camera wouldn't be on. While you're figuring that out, I'm going to continue with Phoenix in our conversation.
Go ahead.
Wait, let me give you Aaron's profile link.
I can find it. I'm good like that.
And then you can message him yourself. And then we'll catch up, Aaron, when he comes back on. So I'm sorry, Phoenix, go ahead. So we were at, I think you were going to talk about you have 3 of the 4 campaigns done.
Yeah, so it's very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, and if you've ever played, which I'm pretty sure you told me that you had.
I've played most role-playing systems.
Yeah, so when you first learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons, it's a nightmare. There's so many rules. At least as a player, it's not so bad. As a DM, it's an absolute nightmare. And I mostly DM, and I remember the first time I DM'd.
Yeah, I used to come from the hip a lot, is what I used to do.
But yeah, so I pretty much took out everything I dislike about Dungeons and Dragons. I simplified the system a lot, and then
You certainly wouldn't like Pathfinder.
Yeah, I haven't played Pathfinder.
Actually makes it more complicated.
Pathfinder existed because 3.5 D&D went away from 3.5.
Yeah, so
and they got simpler without as many subclasses.
A lot of them came from Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. A lot of them is the people who worked on it.
Well, I did know that Pathfinder was came off from Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because they liked all the myriad, almost endless amount of sub archetypes of each class and all that kind of stuff. And when Dungeons and Dragons divvied off, they got rid of a lot of that and tried to simplify it more, I guess, make it more cohesive. But both video games, Wrath of the Righteous and Kingmaker, are both based on Pathfinder. So If you ever play isometric RPGs, but
I think Pathfinder has its own game too now.
Pathfinder Kingmaker. That's it. Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like I see it pop up on Steam every now and then, but yeah. So I've mostly played 5e. Well, I've only played 5e, and then I've also played a ton of Call of Cthulhu. So like I said, I basically kind of changed the rules, simplified them a lot, switched out the D20 for a D6, made it mainly like a 2-player game. So there's the DM, which plays the deity, and then there's a player. So and then added a whole bunch of like special scenarios with sexy stuff in it. So basically, to break this seal or whatever, you have to do this sex act, or you have to do things in a certain order, sexy things in a certain order. And then also most of the monsters can be seduced. They all have their own sex styles. So
Wow.
yeah, I basically made a very adult role-playing game, and people loved it so far.
Not your
and
father's.
That's a shocker,
Dun-
Phoenix.
not your father's Dungeons and Dragons.
Pretty much, yeah. So,
All right, so Aaron is trying to give up right now.
I messaged him on Facebook. I haven't gotten a message back.
Well, he's doing chats in the. He sent me chats.
I see it here.
In-
It won't let me. Don't kill me. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh my screen. I'm gonna refresh my screen. So just
okay,
All right, man.
we're
okay.
ready.
Well, that's not going to work because he's the host.
And I'm like, and then there were 2.